Hello students. So through this video we are going to discuss the problem test your understanding 8 coming in chapter 14, which says about divisional performance measurement and transfer pricing. So let us look into the problem. So the problem is given as Manuko company has been offered supplies of special ingredient Z at a transfer price of $15 per kg by Helpco company, which is part of the same group of companies. So it is just like a divisional transfer. Helpco processes and sells special ingredient Z to customers external to the group at $15 per kg, which is the market price that Helpco can get for its product Z. Helpco bases its transfer price. Transfer price is a price at which the product will be transferred from one division to the other. Helpco bases its transfer price on full cost plus 25% profit markup. So the selling price, what it is being charged is, that is $15, is cost plus 25% profit markup. So if you want to identify the cost price, what we have to do is we have to apply the rule. If the markup is 1 by x on cost, then it is 1 by x plus 1 on sales. So here it is 1 by 4 on the cost, that is 25%. So on selling price, it will be 1 by 5, that is 20%. So just keep it in mind because we'll need it while we are solving the problem. The full cost has been estimated as 75% variable and 25% fixed. Internal transfers to Manuko would enable $1.5 per kg of variable packing cost to be avoided. So the required conditions are in three uh, varieties, which we will discuss as and when we proceed with the same. Before discussing into the question as such, I will discuss the first scenario of transfer pricing because our first question is connected with this scenario. Scenario 1 related to transfer pricing is we are expecting a perfect market for the intermediate product. Whatever is the good which we are transferring from one division to other, it has having an external market which is perfect. So if all the intermediate market is perfect, all suppliers to the market are able to sell all of their product at the prevailing market price. There are no restrictions on sales demand at that price, and no individual supplier dominates the market supply. So in such a condition, when a selling division has a perfect external market for the output, it is therefore able to sell all of the output on the external market at the prescribed market price, and provided that it can sell at a price above the marginal cost. The only limitation on profitability from external sales is the output capacity of the division. That is, if it has a divisional order also and it has an external order, it has to see whether it has got enough capacity to meet the external demand and at the same time the internal. But if it just has equal capacity, that is, external order is as the same as divisional order, in that case what it has to be done is the divisional order may have to be chosen because it's an interdepartmental or interdivisional condition. So at that time, the transfer price will have to be fixed. At what market price the product could be sold in external market cannot be fixed as the transfer price for transferring the goods from one division to another. So in this case, optimum transfer price will be fixed as market price plus or minus any kind of small adjustments. So in the case of exam, the most common adjustment that will arise from situations where the selling division incurs selling cost when selling externally that won't be incurred when selling internally. For example, if the external order is to be met, the goods will have to be sent by ship, so shipping cost will have to be incurred, or additional packing will have to be done, which will not be there if the order is to be executed internally. That is, rather than accepting the external market order, the division is deciding to accept the order from the other division. So in such case, shipping cost, packing cost, etc. can be avoided. So such kind of deductions can be made in the transfer price also. Using the market price is optimal for decision making, as neither division is then tempted to buy or sell externally. And in this scenario, it is also fair from a performance management perspective. So when the division which is going to sell is considered, they also don't feel like not selling it to the other division, because they are not getting something uh, actually what they should get. Since the transfer price is charged at market price, the division also will not be reluctant in a divisional transfer. The first question is, we are supposed to discuss the transfer price at which Helpco would offer the special ingredient to Manuko, one division to another division, in order that group profit maximizing decisions are taken in each of the following situations. Since Helpco and Manuko belong to same division, whatever decision is taken will be enabling to maximize profit of the entire group. So the first part in the question is, Helpco has an external market for all its production of special ingredient Z at a selling price of $15 per kg. So now the confusion is whether Helpco should proceed with the external market orders, or whether Helpco should take up the order from Manuko and offer the goods to them. And if the second thing, that is divisional transfer, is accepted, then at what price? So since Helpco has an external market, which is the opportunity foregone, the relevant transfer price would be the external selling price, that is $15 per kg, which will be adjusted to allow for $1.5 per kg avoided on internal transfers due to packing cost, which is not required. It was a specific condition that was given in the question. That part is missing in this slide. If you refer to the text, you will get it. There was a condition or an adjustment given, that is a $1.5 per kg uh, was allowed to be reduced, since the packing cost is not needed in case of divisional transfers. So here the optimum transfer price will be the market price minus the cost which can be avoided. So here for the decision making, the transfer price should be considered as selling price in the external market, that is $15, minus $1.5, that is a packing cost which is not needed to be incurred. So the transfer price in this case, it is $13.5 per kg. So in this particular case, we are discussing scenario 2. In this particular case, it is a situation where the selling division is having a spare capacity, which means at the same time it can meet external orders, and it has a spare capacity using which it can meet the internal orders. A situation might arise where a division has an intermediate market for its output, and it also sells internally, but there is a limit to the amount which it can sell externally, and it is having a spare capacity. So in such a situation, the opportunity cost of transferring units internally would be nil, because it is same time using the external, meeting the external demands also. The ideal transfer price then would be based on the cost. We consider it as the marginal cost and not on the external market price. The opportunity cost of transferring units internally is nil, because the selling division is able to meet external demand in full and still have excess capacity for making interdivisional sales. So using the general rule, this means that optimum transfer price in such situations would be equal to marginal cost of the selling division. Transferring at marginal cost will ensure that uh, it, has, it is considered as an optimal decision making, because the selling division will be unlikely to purchase the intermediate good elsewhere, for less than marginal cost. It is very difficult for the selling division to purchase this goods for somewhere from somewhere at a lesser than marginal cost. So the problem is that it is unlikely to be fair to the supplying division when appraising the performance of the divisions, as all of the profit from the transferred units will be allocated to the buying division. So in this case, the price what is fixed in the selling department cannot be treated as fair, but still they are supposed to deal it like that. So ignoring that additional condition, let us look into the problem what it demands. So the second aspect of the test your understanding is asking us to find out the transfer price in case Helpco has a production capacity of 9000 kg of the special ingredient Z with an external market available for 6000 kg of material C. So in this case, it is evident that after meeting the external market, there is a spare capacity left of 3000 kg. So in this situation, Helpco has no alternative opportunity for 3000 kg because the market demand is only for 6000 kg. So therefore, it can be offered internally, in which case the offer price will be something equal to marginal cost. But there also what we should consider is when we are considering the variable cost part, which is the marginal cost part, we should deduct the packing cost, which is an additional condition imposed. Since it is an internal transfer, the packing cost is not there. That we have to keep in mind. So in this condition, variable cost is treated as a marginal cost on the basis of which the transfer price is fixed. So variable cost already it is mentioned in the question as 75% of the total cost. So in this particular case, we have to initially identify the cost. So as I told at the beginning of the slide that when the markup is 25% on cost, which is the condition given in the question, then on sales price it is 20%. So here on $15, if we want to calculate the cost, we have to apply this rule. So the cost will be 15%, $15 into 80%, because rest 20% is the markup portion. How did you find rest 20% as the markup portion? Because the rule is like, if the markup is 25% on cost, then on sales it is 20%. So we avoid that markup portion and consider only the cost element, that is $12 for our further calculations. So from this $12, 75% is the variable cost element. So variable cost is equal to $12 into 75%, that is $9. But we cannot consider this entire $9 in this particular situation. We have to deduct $1.5, which is the packing charge, that also to be deducted from this cost in order to fix the marginal cost at which we are going to transfer the goods. So if Manuko is getting the goods from Helpco of this 3000 kg of Z, then the transfer price that would be fixed by Helpco will be $7.5 per kg. So suppose Manuko is in a situation that it is not able to meet the ultimate demand with this 3000 kg, then what has to be done is, if Manuko require more than 3000 kg, the transfer price would be set. That is, the Helpco will have to adjust the material from the external demand. It will have to reduce the external sales and meet the demand of Manuko. So for that portion which is additionally demanded by Manuko, the charge will be $13.5 per kg, which is the market price minus the packing charges. So in this particular situation, second situation, the demand is only for the spare capacity. So in that case, we need to fix the transfer price as 7.5 kg per, $7.5 per kg. Now we have an additional scenario. Scenario 3, the selling division is at full capacity. In this scenario, the selling division cannot satisfy the external demand for the intermediary product, and therefore any internal sale would mean sacrificing an external sale. So the selling division as such is not having any spare capacity. As a result, every internal sale result in a lost contribution on the external sale. So here what is happening is it already has an external order, but now in order to meet the internal order, the selling division has to make a sacrifice on the external order that it has received. So it will have to lose that much contribution it was supposed to get. So using the general rule, this means that optimal transfer price will be equal to marginal cost of the selling division plus shadow price or the lost contribution, which is the opportunity cost. So the shadow price is the opportunity cost of the lost contribution from the other product, or if the extra contribution, or it is extra contribution that would be earned if the product could have been sold in the external market. Last part of our question deals with such a situation. Helpco has a production capacity for 3000 kg of special material Z. An alternative use for some of its spare production capacity exists. This alternative use is equivalent to 2000 kg of special ingredient Z and would earn a contribution of $6,000. So already the Helpco is having a production capacity 3000, and it is having an external use or external order for 2000 kg. There is an opportunity there. As such, it may not be availed, but there is an opportunity existing for making a market sale of 2000 kg of special ingredient Z, which would earn a contribution of $6,000. And as such, there is no external demand. So how would you fix the transfer price? So in this situation, for 1000 kg, which is the spare capacity, we will have to go through scenario 2, and we will have to fix the transfer price as equal to the marginal cost minus any kind of adjustments. So earlier in the second problem, we had found the marginal cost as equal to $7.5 per kg. So at that price, we will fix the transfer of 1000 kg, which is a spare capacity. And for the additional 2000 kg, for which already there is a market external, but no opportunity has arisen as such. So that 2000 kg, if you are now going to transfer it internally to Manuco, then the transfer price we'll have to fix as equal to $7.5 per kg, which is the marginal cost, plus the lost contribution, that is $3, which is the opportunity cost. How did you get it as $3? It is $3 per kg. How did you find it? Because the total contribution for 2000 kg was mentioned as $6,000, giving per kg contribution as $3. So for that 2000 kg, the transfer price is to be fixed at $7.5 plus $3, that is marginal cost plus contribution lost or the opportunity cost. And for the 1000 kg additional or spare capacity, the transfer price can be fixed as $7.5 per kg, which is equal to the marginal cost. So I think the situation is clear to you. All the three situations you just work out with the scenarios and the formulas connected. Still, if there is any confusion, we will arrange a personal session.